Welcome back to the Movie Day Podcast, the one and only podcast that reviews a different film each and every day. My name is Grant, and I'm your host for this podcast. With me, as always, to dive into the world of cinema, we have Sky.
Hello.
And Ryan.
I just want to go to bed.
Thanks, Ryan.
It's fucking 3:30 in the goddamn morning. What are we talking about?
I'm glad you asked, Ryan. The movie that I chose for all of us to watch is Luca Guadagnino's Suspiria, starring Dakota Johnson, Tilda Swinton, and Tilda Swinton. It is a remake of sorts on Dario Argento's 1977 version of the same name, Suspiria, about a young girl who shows up at this world-renowned dance company, and there's some weird stuff going on, possibly involving witchcraft. So, yeah. Sky, what did you think of 2018 Suspiria?
Well, this movie, I am torn with this movie because there are some things I really like, and then there are some things I guess I'm like kind of baffled by, and like maybe I just like didn't fully get some things. I guess we'll talk about more of that stuff in the spoilers, but I guess for initial thoughts, I thought the acting was all really good. The set design, visual effects, practical effects, like all that stuff was like super good. The color, the soundtrack I thought was really good, except for like in like one or two parts that I guess we'll get into in the spoilers. But I guess overall as a recommendation, I would say, again, I'm kind of conflicted with this too, because I'd say if you appreciate the filmmaking aspects when you like watch a movie, I would recommend this film. But if you're just like a casual, I guess, moviegoer, this movie is probably not for you, and it is long. To me, there were a little bit of pacing issues, and like there was definitely some things I would cut out or just trim down. But personally, I guess I would recommend seeing it at least once. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah, definitely an interesting film to say the least. I've never seen the original actually, so I might not have gotten as much out of it as you guys did in terms of like relating certain scenes to the original. But you guys said it didn't matter, which I mean, still a pretty solid movie overall. It was definitely shot really well. Some of the camera work is a little weird, but I guess it's just because I'm not used to it. It's like some camera work that I have never seen too often in many movies, I guess. But definitely the set pieces were very cool, especially the end of the movie, which we'll get into in spoiler talk. But that set was really cool. Definitely like that. The acting obviously is pretty solid all around. Yeah, it's just a weird movie. I mean, I don't want to like say too much more, otherwise I might spoil something. So,
Would you recommend it?
oh yeah. So I think I kind of gotta go with what Sky said about if you're a casual moviegoer, you might not like it. If you're a fanatic, then you probably will like it. It just depends on your taste. Just check it out, like it's definitely worth checking out. I'm actually surprised that it's an Amazon Studio movie and Amazon doesn't have it right now, which I'm surprised by, but find a way to watch it.
Yeah, this movie is out on Blu-ray. If you're lucky enough to catch it at theaters, then that's definitely the way I would recommend watching it. It sounds great. It looks great. The acting is fantastic. Yeah, the score and the original soundtrack by Tom York of Radiohead is amazing, and it is used appropriately, and I will discuss that later.
Oh,
But I will say, I don't know. I would definitely, if you're going into this, if you're interested in watching it, look at the runtime, look at who directed it, look at his other movies. Just kind of know what you're getting into, because this is something else. This is a movie that you have never seen before. I'm pretty confident in that. I don't know. I would recommend it just on its technical aspects alone. But yeah, I think we can get into spoilers at this point.
all right. Where to begin? This movie has a
there's
lot in
so
it.
much.
I'm trying to think. I guess for me, maybe we'll start with. Again, I don't want to like knock it. This movie has really good artistic value to it. Like the technical stuff, like we've all said, is like very like well crafted. I guess for me, the pacing was like an issue for me. Like there were so many sequences where like they would just have something go on and it would go on, and like I get the point of it, and then like that effect wore off on me. I was like, oh my god, this is horrifying. Like when Dakota Johnson is like dancing and it's really breaking that other girl, right?
Yeah.
Which we'll get into some problems I have with the plot, but anyway, but yeah, I guess with that scene like went on for probably like an extra minute longer than it should have, because I was like, oh my god, I'm like Jesus, ugh. And then like after a while I'm like, okay, oh, this is still going, okay. And it like didn't have an effect on me, I guess, anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, does that make sense to either of you? Did you guys?
Yeah,
like,
no,
fully
I got
find
that
it?
vibe, but I thought like typically with scenes like that, there's kind of like a peaking point with what's happening, and there really wasn't like a peaking point, like it, because like the peaking point essentially, for example, in that scene would be the girl would end up just dying, right? Like collapsing, dying, getting her entire body is getting scrunched into like this ball, and she would just die, but she never did die. Like we never got that sense of closure. I don't know, that's what I got out of it, and that's why it kind of felt like it was dragging on and on and on. It's just because there was no closure in that scene, because typically scenes like that end in death.
Well, see, I thought she did die. Like, and
Well,
then
we thought,
they
but
cut
like
back.
she wasn't.
They cut back to it later, and like she's still being tortured. And again, it's like, okay, it's a new thing added to it of like it being horrifying. But like the actual scene of her being tortured, I guess, went on for so long that I was just like, this person be dead. Like they've been ripped like around like
Yeah,
20,000
exactly. That's
times
what I
at
mean.
this
Like
point.
like
And it
there's just
loses its effect.
just going
I
on
guess,
and
to
on
me.
without death.
Yeah, I guess like that happened in so many scenes where like stuff would just keep going like on and on and on. Like the dance number, it would go on and on and on, and like the tension would like, for me personally anyway, like it just wore off. Like I wasn't tensed anymore. I was just like, okay, I get it.
So
I get what you're doing.
you're not a fan of torture movies then, are you, Sky? Like Saw and movies like that.
I mean, I'm really not, but like it still, I guess, has the effect of like making me feel like uneasy in other films more because of like that timing of like, if you just torture someone nonstop, it's like, okay, like it loses its realism, I guess, for me in the movie's sake. I guess, I don't know, because like if you're like getting tortured, you just pass out. Like unless they're like injecting you with adrenaline and all this stuff. Like this girl is literally every limb in her body is being like ripped apart, and she's just still awake
in a way it shouldn't be bent.
Yeah, and so like again, like that's horrifying, and then like I guess, like I said, it just like it loses its like effect on me. It, like I eventually I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm watching a movie.
But what?
I
See,
guess.
okay, so for me, like you take that scene right where she got completely just messed up, and then you go to the other girl that has like a mini seizure on the floor later on in the movie, and it's just kind of very minor, like what happens to her compared to what happened to the other girl. But I guess like the other girl was like trying to leave, right? Like she was trying to escape,
Yeah.
and she got the worst of it.
She was very outspoken against the Academy, even
So that kind of
claiming
makes
that they
sense.
were witches.
But I
Yeah.
was
But
kind of
then-
expecting more out of the second girl who was getting like siphoned. You know what I mean? Like I was expecting her to like. Instead, she just kind of flopped around like a fish out of water, and just that was it.
Well, I guess like for me, I guess that adds into one of my other complaints is like everything is like super convenient. Like the witches have these powers and there's no rules to them. It's kind of like they can just do whatever they want whenever they need to, and the story kind of like allows it. And so it's like again, like I know there is like that's the point, like they have magic, right? But like to me it was just like a little too convenience or too many conveniences. Like when Dakota Johnson's character and Mia Goth, geez, I'm trying to remember everyone's names because it was Susie and Sarah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Dakota Johnson, Susie, Mia Goth, Sarah. Like they go and they're just randomly trying to find a file on Patricia, the missing girl, and they're like breaking into the school that she like barely got accepted to, and like she's just like super fine doing that and like stealing stuff, which again, like everything has a double meaning of who, based on who, I guess, Susie is. But at this point, I don't think she's transitioned into Mother Superior. I don't know, but either way,
Superiorum. Yeah.
and so like that's the part where it's like her motivations at different parts in the movie like don't make sense to me. Like she goes there and she looks at all the women like abusing those cops or like making them do weird shit, and then she's just like comes back, doesn't say anything about it, and is just like, oh,
She
like
actually kind of smiles and like almost has like a muffled laughter.
Mm-hmm.
as
Yeah.
well.
well, like again, it could be like, oh my god, I just saw a man naked, or it could be like, what the hell, like she is the person, right? And so like I don't know, like either way, it doesn't work for me because there's inconsistencies, I guess, on both of those
So
sides.
I guess we can just get into this now. A big theme of this movie in the dance company and just in general is like rebirth. One of the dance numbers
It's called Rebirth.
is called Rebirth.
Yeah.
And this is essentially like Mother Suspiriorum's like rebirth. She is Mother Suspirium the whole time. She just doesn't know it. But like she even says like when she went to those dances, like she felt drawn to the dance company, like she had to go. And she went and she just like gets all these feelings and sensations. And like Tilda Swinton even says like I can feel that she senses things like when I give her dreams. And then later on she starts talking like telepathically with Tilda Swinton. And I don't think she realizes fully who she is until that moment with Mother Marcos and like killing the mother. Because she does have flashbacks in that moment to her mother.
Yeah, but again, like all that's convenient. It's like, oh, it happens right then, and like right then. Like I don't know. It seems too convenient with this like magic, I guess. Like I like if they use the magic more and like there are some set rules, I guess.
That's
I don't know.
definitely what makes it more terrifying and more like otherworldly.
But see, it doesn't, because then I'm like, well, why wouldn't they just brainwash these people? Like Chloe Grace Moretz, why did they let her leave? Like, why was she? They couldn't. They read everyone's mind. They could literally see like the dreams they were having and like doing all these things, and they can manipulate these girls to do whatever they want, like anything they want. But then like they let them.
They though?
Yeah, they make them dance. All of them were doing those like weird dances and like demonic stuff at the end. Like literally all of them were doing whatever they wanted.
Those weren't the students. Those were all the head like witches, like all the ones that would vote for like Marcos or.
No, I thought they were students too, because all the students woke up and they were covered in blood. They were in the beds covered in blood, weren't they not?
I can't remember, to be honest. The only students I thought were there were Chloe Grace Moretz and Mia Goth and.
I thought all of the women in front who didn't get their heads exploded.
I didn't think we seen that many head witches.
Yeah, I thought they were her students, and that's why like they panned all the students having nightmares, and they were all like, oh, like had weird dreams, but then like they flash back and show like a few of them cleaning up the blood, like 3 or 4. but like there were a lot more people down there. And again, like they show all the students in bed with blood on them, unless they were like dreaming about that. But I'm pretty sure the students were down there. Point is like what makes a student that you need to drain their life force if you can manipulate all of them? Like, I guess there's so many like questions like that, I guess, that I'm like, wait, like
They did mention too that
I don't
it has to
understand
be
the
will.
rules of how this works, because if you can like live off of Chloe Grace Moretz, but you just need like a better vessel,
They need to be willing. They did mention that a few
would
times.
that be enough as this person? Like
Like the person they use has to be willing for the ritual. Yeah, this movie, I don't know. It's because I was definitely watching it knowing like what would happen with Dakota Johnson's character. And like I feel like it works. Because that's the one thing where I was watching the last scene is like, I don't know if this is going to work when I watch it again, but it does, at least for me anyway.
See, for me it didn't. Like I didn't buy it at all. And that's not the thing either, I guess. My biggest complaint, I didn't connect to like any of the characters. Like at the end they're giving this big like or Susie's giving this emotional speech to the doctor, and I didn't really care as much as I should have, I guess. And like I liked the doctor character, but like I just didn't care. I don't know. They didn't. It was just kind of like he had a wife who died in a concentration camp. You know that about him, and like it definitely like impacted him, but they don't really get into it too much.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting choice to have. I would say like 30 to 40% of the movie dedicated to the doctor character.
Mm-hmm.
Like have his story be the backdrop to the dance academies. I will say, well, Dakota Johnson's story does work, at least for me, for like her being Mother Superiorum. I will say it kind of undermines like the arc of her, like just all the scenes with her in it. It I don't know. It might sound weird, but like, and it's really hard to explain because like.
So you're saying you interpret it as she's always been.
She always has been Mother Superiorum. She just like, because she always has the feelings and sensations that she is like supposed to be in this place. She belongs here, and then comes to realize it in the end.
Well, like the hand that touches her when she's like laying on the floor is like that death hand.
Yeah, it's
or whatever.
It's death.
Mm-hmm.
But like, are they not one and the same, or is she just like?
No, they're not one and the same.
Okay, so that's just something. There is like, hey, I know you're. I guess one of the three.
They're acquainted in some way.
Huh. But then, yeah, I guess there's just all these like weird things. Like I guess Tilda Swinton. Well, I guess Madame Blanc. She gets her head broken by
Like,
Marcos.
Kind of decapitated.
Yeah,
sort
but then
of.
she's really still alive. And why wouldn't Dakota Johnson heal her? Because Tilda, or her character was trying to help.
I
Susie.
don't think.
She really
I
like
don't-
tried to stop it to prevent from hurting her.
But I don't think she was trying to stop it for Susie's sake. I think she was trying
She
to
doesn't
stop
want
it.
Marcos to be the person, though. She didn't vote for Marcos. Like they made that clear in the movie.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
I think
why
in that
would she-
moment she realized like this shit's about to get like messed up. Because like
But see, they didn't convey that good. I guess for me, like I guess there's so many things that like I feel like they didn't convey right, and then they over conveyed some things for me as well. Just like with, like I said, like those issues of like scenes dragging on for a while. Trying to think what else. Oh yeah, the soundtrack in the scene. Explain that to me, Grant.
It's essentially the scene is supposed to be like tragic in like from the perspective of Mother Susperiorum. Like the way that all the witches have been kind of like puppeteered almost into like worshiping a false prophet and like killing them all.
Wait,
It's
so you're
like,
saying it was supposed to be sad music? Because to me, it seemed like happy music. It seemed like, I don't know, it made me laugh because I'm like, I don't think I'm feeling the right emotion right now. I mean, it could have just been me. Maybe like the song affected me in a different way.
No,
but like
it was me too. I didn't feel like the
Okay.
song was right, like for that scene, but
I guess I didn't
could be
feel
wrong.
sadness or anything,
but like I
or
mean,
whatever you were saying. I
we
guess
didn't get
Grant.
any subtitles for the lyrics.
True, but again, does the beat match? The words might have matched, I guess. But so wait, Grant, what did in that moment you said the movie made you like that song affected you in like kind of like a sadness way of like the mother, like she's the mother looking down and like killing her children because they've disobeyed her. Is that?
well, that, and it's kind of sad too because, well, at least for her anyway, that's not like
No, I
didn't
can
feel
get why
sad
that would be
personally,
sad for
but
her.
like, yeah, and like Tilda Swinton too, because like she kind of died, kind of not, but then the like students too that got like really messed up because of all the like puppeteering and stuff as well for Marcos. Like the one girl had her like all her intestines ripped out, and like Chloe Grace Moretz, like I don't even know how to describe what happened to her.
Yeah, she got.
And then like the other girl got bent and contorted and all messed up, all for the sake of like a mother, like the Marcos, like pretending to be one of the three mothers, like.
No, yeah, and I
So
get
essentially just her like rectifying like everything.
Yeah, and I get how like the characters would feel that in that scene for sure. I guess I'm just saying that song choice with what was going on didn't make me feel that, I guess. Like I could tell that's what the movie was like wanting me to
Yeah,
feel. I guess the
it was-
song,
I
I don't know,
mean,
the beat of it. It just
It was
made
an
me,
upbeat.
like,
It was an upbeat song, but like
it wasn't
yeah,
like
I
super
said,
upbeat, but it definitely had like
it was
more
upbeat.
of like
It
a
was upbeat.
okay.
To start,
Just yeah.
but then it did slow down towards the end of the scene. But
Like this the tone of the voice, I guess. It like made me laugh because I'm like this like I'm like, I don't know, I'm feeling like kind of like happy right now, or like just based on, I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah, it like the first time I watched it was kind of jarring too, but like knowing like Dakota Johnson's like character, like go the whole way through and like knowing all of
It
that.
seemed like she was kind of smiling too, though, as like she was walking around. And then I guess the part that made me laugh a lot too is it would like cut back and it'd be like each of the people saying Marcos, and then their head would explode and it'd be like
Yeah.
Marcos, and then another head would explode. Like I don't know, it just seemed like kind of like darkly comedic to me. I don't know, maybe I'm just messed up.
Yeah, that part was a little weird. It was a cool scene though. Definitely a cool.
Oh yeah, the
set.
effects
Like,
of that were sick.
That chamber was like scary as hell.
Dude, I legit thought that was a chair. I had no idea that there was all those girls like contorted
like,
to
that
form
was-
that
that was
chair.
very
Like, that
well
was
done.
cool as hell.
But
Yeah, I will say, look up the lyrics for that song.
yeah,
That was
I usually
brilliant,
don't
yeah.
judge songs. I
And
look
it
up the
fits
lyrics.
very well.
Oh, I'm sure like the lyrics again could like fit with the song, but like the tone still has an impact, right? Like it's not just the lyrics. It's like
And the tone
kinda-
fit well as well. I don't know.
it's what?
The tone fit well for me as well.
Oh, okay.
It
Well,
definitely
again, it
conveyed
just
that, like,
for me it took me out of the movie and kind of made it like
It caught me off
a
guard.
dark comedy. But again, right? Like you might have got more of a connection to the characters. I didn't, as I already said. Like to me, like I didn't get anything established. Like I didn't feel for anyone. I mean, I felt bad for these people who are getting like hurt, obviously, but I didn't like I wasn't rooting for anyone. I was kind of just like, oh, what's going on? And then it turns out this girl who's the main character is like the all powerful one, and it's like, oh, so I really don't need to. And you kind of already said this, Camp. Like, I don't really need to, or I shouldn't have worried about her, like at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
And
like,
then why did like all the we kind of talked about this too, but like obviously these people have like some insane powers, right? Like they can change what they look like, make illusions, like wipe people's memories. They can do all sorts of things. But like she asks the three people who are tortured, like, tell me what you want. And they all just choose to die. And I'm like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're three people that like
we're
at
tortured
the
for sure.
mercy and like of tortured by these people. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I had like my intestines ripped out, and I was kind of standing there, and there's blood everywhere, and like a literal incarnation of death, and like naked people dancing and chanting, and someone asked me what I wanted, I just like kill me.
No, yeah, and it doesn't
Yeah.
like ruin the experience. I guess like for me, like if you're like, okay, I just saw a ton of magic go on, like I would literally be like, what are my options here? Like, is it like I live but I remember all this? Because yeah, I'd kill
Yeah,
myself.
I wouldn't be thinking that clearly. I just would kill me.
No, that's fair. That is fair.
Another question would
just
be
saying,
like,
like,
am I gonna?
I had no
Are you
problem with
gonna?
that at all.
Are you gonna heal me back to normal? Like, cause I'm all messed up right now, like cut up or whether like whatever Chloe was.
I guess like for me, like it seems like kind of like a leading question then. It's like she goes up to him and she's like, you want me to kill you, right? Like, where instead she should have just been like, let me put you at peace. Like, I think that would have been better versus just be like, what do you want? Because like you're right. I guess in that situation, like asking anyone what they want, they're tortured and like they're not even in control of their own mind probably because they were standing there against their free will. So like, yeah, I don't know. Like that whole scene, I guess that part of it didn't really mesh with me either.
Yeah, I was feeling a lot of the same what you guys felt after watching it the first time. Watching it the second time definitely makes the movie a little better for me anyway. Like things start to fall into place. And like I was kind of questioning too like the whole like reason why all the doctor stuff was like as prominent as the stuff in the dance academy, but thematically it does connect.
No, I
And it
wanted
does have a
more of the
through
doctor
line.
stuff. Like I wanted to care about his character.
Mhm.
I didn't care about anyone, I guess is what my point is. And I didn't like hate the characters or anything. I just like I had no one to grip onto, I guess. And again, like I think the character you're supposed to is kind of that old guy. Especially the way it ends. But like I didn't get enough of it, I guess. I mean, that's just my personal preference, but I would have liked more, I guess, emotional, I guess, stuff with him. Because you don't really get emotional with him until like the end, and a little bit with the illusion.
Sorry, say that again.
Oh, I was just saying, I didn't get enough of the doctor character for me. There's like the illusion scene and the ending scene, but like other than that, I didn't really like get anything to really like feel for the guy, I guess.
And this could be a reason too. I guess how we watched the movie. You and Ryan didn't have a subtitle, so I would kind of have to explain.
It's true. They didn't.
Yeah,
The German
like, what
parts
they were
didn't
saying.
have.
I would
That's
be, like,
true.
paraphrasing. And all of his scenes, or I would say like 90% of his team scenes were in German subtitles.
Yeah,
I'm
but they
definitely
didn't
gonna
seem
have to watch
emotional.
this one when there's dub or not dubs but subtitles for it.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
For
like
sure.
it comes out to Amazon, I'll probably check it out again.
that's for sure. Just to see if it does make a difference. I guess most of his scenes just seemed like is kind of just like explaining things. But yeah, maybe there are little things I missed.
Probably.
So, anything else we want to say about this movie for now?
Oh. That's a lot to process, that's for sure.
Nah, not really. I can't think of anything else right now.
So
I can, but I'd rather discuss it after we've all seen it again.
Are we going to do a revisited podcast?
Either that or I'll just talk about it when we do our best of 2018.
Yeah, that makes sense. We could do that.
So I have this movie at an 8 right now. I don't think it's going to go down to a 7. It could definitely go up.
I have it at a 7. And I don't think it would go down either from that, but I also don't think it's going to go up to an 8 unless like the second watch is like completely different for me. I think it's a pretty solid 7 for me.
I also have it at a 7. There's a lot of scenes I liked. I like the mysterious like factor in it. I just need to watch it with subtitles, honestly. I need to get more out of the story. But yeah, definitely gonna watch it again just to make sure. I'm trying to get everything. Cuz it's a hard movie to follow like for your first time if you're like not used to like this kind of stuff. I mean, like obviously we are cuz like we've seen a lot of movies within the past month, 2 months. But like for like people that are just used to like the blockbuster movies, they're not going to understand this right off the bat.
Yeah. So, I believe Sky, you're our next recommender.
Yeah.
Recommender.
So for my movie, I am recommending The Sisters Brothers.
Starring Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Oh God, no.
And John C. Reilly.
But it does star John C. Reilly.
And who else but
Joaquin the Dream.
Another Joaquin. We should just rename our podcast the Joaquin the Dream Phoenix podcast.
It also has Jake Gyllenhaal from
Okay, I like that.
Velvet Buzzsaw fame.
Jake Gyllenhaal is very good.
Jake Gyllenhaal is great.
He's great.
Yeah.
He's great.
He's no Joaquin.
He's no Joaquin, but he's up there.
And he's no Tilda Swinton either. Also, I did mention starring Tilda Swinton 3 times. Did you guys know what third character she was in that movie?
Yeah, she was the Toad.
She was the Toad, yeah. She was Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Or Jabba the Hutt's wife, I should say.
Yeah.
Just what an actress.
Oh yeah, she's
good. And she did was she in yeah, we need to talk about Kevin, that's right. She did a great job in that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's always really, really unique and interesting to watch.
We might cover that podcast. I actually at some point we probably will cover that movie.
Yeah. I can see us doing that one. But yeah, if you guys like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as leave a like and a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts, suggestions, and recommendations. To keep up with updates and other news regarding this podcast, follow our Twitter and like our Facebook page listed in the description below. Anything you guys want to add?
No, I think that's it.
I'm going to bed.
As am I. See you tomorrow.